welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Amanda and this is my May TBR Pursuit. So this month is even more exciting than usual because I've redone my board, I've changed things up a little bit, but before we get into that, let's talk about how I did last month. Not shown on this stack is Every Value Break. I chose that for a domestic thriller. Then I read The Guest List by Lucy Foley. This was for the prompt to read a backlist thriller. Then I read The Wedding Party by Jasmine Guillory. This was to continue on with the series. Jane Steele, I actually DNF'd this one. This was to read a gothic novel. The Ravens was to read a book set in a school. I finished that. And then I'm currently reading Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse, and this was a fantasy prompt to read something less than 500 pages. So not a bad month, not the best month that I've had, but I still will complete the TBR before the end of the month. Okay, so here is my new board. It is much smaller. It actually fits in the frame. I mean, you guys are pushed pretty far back, but it fits in the frame. The colors are still the same, but the prompts have changed, or the genres have changed, I should say. So blue spaces are contemporary. I've done away with adult and YA contemporary. Purple is still historical fiction. Orange is now mystery, thriller, horror. Green is sci-fi fantasy. Pink is romance. So yellow, I'm considering my trick or treat spaces. And basically what that means is the prompts are something I could consider a treat, like read something off your wish list, or a trick, like add an extra roll, something like that. I think it just adds a little bit more depth to the game and a little bit more excitement, because when I pull that, I don't know if I'm going to get something good or bad, and I kind of like that. And that's it. So everything is the same. I've just changed the genres that I'm picking now. With all that being said, let's get into the rolls. Roll number 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sci-fi fantasy. Restart a series. Perfect. So roll number 1, I landed on green, which is sci-fi fantasy, and the prompt for that is to restart a series. So I love this prompt because I have many series that I've started years ago, never continued, want to continue, but don't remember what happened in the first few books. So I chose to restart An Ember in the Ashes by Tbr. I want to continue on with the series. I actually want to finish it. The 4th and final book came out last year, I think, or maybe even the year before, I don't know. And I read this many years ago. I gave it 5 stars. I really, really loved it. I don't know if it'll be a 5-star the second time around, but I would really like to give it a try and see. Plus, these new covers are gorgeous, aren't they? Roll number 2. 5 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sci-fi fantasy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Contemporary. We'll do contemporary. Dark academia. Roll number 2, I landed on blue, which is contemporary, and the prompt for that was to read a dark academia. And I don't own a lot of dark academia, although I tend to enjoy books set in schools. So I decided to go with Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. This is quite the chunker of a book. And all I know about it is it centers around a secret society, and it's very triggering. That's all I know. So I am excited to dive into this one this month. Roll number 3. 1. So I can do other, which is like my grab bag, trick or treat, or historical fiction. Let's do other. 5-star prediction. Roll number 3, I landed on yellow, and the prompt for this was to read a 5-star prediction. And this is perfect because I've really been behind on my 5-star prediction reading this year, and I chose Lost in the Neverwoods by Aiden Thomas. I read Cemetery Boys by them last year and I loved it. So good. It's actually behind me on the shelf. I don't know if you guys can see it. And so I just knew I wanted to get my hands on this. This is a Peter Pan retelling, I believe, and I just know I'm gonna love it. I just know it's gonna like pull on my little heartstrings, and I'm just so ready. Roll number 4. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mystery thriller. Let's do mystery thriller. Psychological thriller. Roll number 4, I landed on orange, which is mystery, thriller, horror, and the prompt for that was to read a psychological thriller. And I chose Every Last Fear by Alex Fenley. This is a book I pre-ordered this year. All I know about this one is there is a guy named Matt who is off at college at NYU, and he comes home after a night of partying just to find out that his entire family has died in an apparent gas leak in Mexico. And so he travels home and he doesn't think that things add up. He thinks that there's something sinister going on, and so I think he starts to investigate that and things start happening. This book got a lot of buzz. People were really excited about it. I don't know if that many people have read it, but the early reviews I saw of it said it was really good. Roll number 5. 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sci-Fi Fantasy. Let's do other again. This is a booktube or a friend favorite. Roll number 5, I landed on yellow again, which again is Trick or Treat. The prompt for that was to read a friend favorite. So I reached out to my friend Samantha from Samantha Leanne. I will link her channel down below. If you guys want to go check her out, please do. You will love her just like I do. And I asked her what her favorite book was. So she recommended that I read Ghost Summer by Tana Reeve Dew. This is a collection of short stories, and I have not read anything by Tana Reeve Dew, and I'm really excited about it because she is the horror queen, and I just know that these are going to be great. She told me that she still thinks about them, and so I'm even more excited about it. I love books that make you think about them well after you've read them. Like, something that comes to mind for me is The Death of Mrs. Westaway. I think about that book all the time, by Ruth Ware. So I'm really, really excited to get into this one, especially because it's a short story collection, which I don't read enough of. It's by an author that I have not read from, but I want to, and Samantha loves it, so I think I'm gonna love it too. The 6th and final roll. 3. 1, 2, 3, mystery, thriller, horror. 1, 2, 3, roll again. Let's do roll again. 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, mystery, thriller, horror. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, romance. Let's do romance. Historical romance. And then the 6th and final roll, I landed on pink, which is romance, and the prompt for that was to read a historical romance. So I don't own a lot of historical romance, but I just did the What's on My Kindle video, and I own the first book in the Bridgerton series by Julia Quinn. I think it's called The Duke and I. And I've started reading that one, and then I put it down. I never picked it back up, but now I have a reason to. So this month, I'm going to read The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. The show is really good. I just don't know what I'm going to think about the book. So we will see. So that's all for my TBR rolls for May. There is one other book I would like to get to this month. And if you guys have been paying attention, you'll know it is Queen of Shadows, which is the 4th book in the Throne of Glass series. I guess it's the 5th if you count Assassin's Blade. So this is the last book that I've read in the series. I've read up until this point. I've not read anything after this, so I'm really excited to get through this one, so then when I pick up Empire of Storms in June, that'll be a brand new experience for me, although I am very much enjoying my experience so far. Really excited to continue on with it this month, and this book is probably the biggest out of the book so far. Let's see. This is like 650 pages, so it's a beast. Hopefully in May I have a better reading month than I have in April. So this is my May TBR. Don't forget about the 2 Kindle books, or the 2 other books I talked about, Ghost Summer and The Duke and I by Julia Quinn. I'll be reading both of those on my Kindle, so it's not so bad. I mean, there's some chunky books, there's a lot of fantasy, there's some like thrillers on here, so I think it's gonna be a good reading month. If you guys have made it this far, go ahead and leave me a yellow emoji of some sort in honor of my trick or treat square on my new TBR board to let me know that you watched and that you enjoyed what you saw. As always, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Follow me on Goodreads, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye!